Please welcome to the stage the founder of Tech Stands Up, Brad Taylor.
First off, I just want to thank everyone for coming out today. It's been an amazing day. So, as Lisa said, my name is Brad Taylor, and I'm the founder of Tech Stands Up. I moved here from Indiana in 2006. I headed west because Silicon Valley has given rise to some of the greatest innovations of a century, and I wanted to be right in the middle of it. Facebook was just expanding beyond college campuses. Google had just bought YouTube for $1 billion, which everyone thought was mind-boggling at the time, and you could still get a 2-bedroom apartment in the Mission for under $2,000. Since then, I've seen many things change. From my flip phone evolving into a smartphone and my Nintendo evolving to VR. But the thing about change is that it can have both negative and positive consequences. Things like AI, automation, driverless cars, and 3D printing are going to change the world in the next decade, and the current economic systems we have in place will be put to the test. Throughout history, these changes have been generational. However, today, entire industries and communities will be disrupted in the matter of years, not decades. And history has shown us what can happen when people are ignored and left behind. And we cannot sit idly by while this happens. A wise man once said, "With great power comes great responsibility." The tech industry has created the largest amount of wealth in the shortest amount of time ever in human history. And with our talents and resources, our industry has the responsibility to stand up and be a leader for progress, especially when there is a clear lack of leadership in Washington. If we do not stand up now, those pitchforks that are pointed towards DC will be pointed right back at us. We are fortunate enough to live in one of the most transformative times in human history, being driven by the technology that is created right here in Silicon Valley. America will turn 240 years old this year, and while that may sound like a long time, we are still just a startup. We have an enormous responsibility to future generations to ensure that what we do here, at this moment, will be looked back with admiration and not disappointment. If you walk into many of the tech firms here in Silicon Valley and you ask someone, what are your company values? You may hear things like inclusion, transparency, innovation, diversity. Well, the reality is that today, those values are under attack. And it's time for all tech companies to stand up for these values and to prove that they are just more than hoodie slogans and corporate propaganda. So today, I call on the tech industry to start to build bridges and empathize with the communities that our technology disrupts so that we may minimize the number of people who are left behind. Whether it's internally by ensuring contractors earn a living wage, locally by addressing affordable housing, or globally by finding creative solutions to empower people who empower people who our technologies have disrupted. I also call on you, the tech worker, to stand up for what you believe in, because more so than most workers, tech employees have enormous power. The power not only comes from the votes and where you choose to spend your money, but also where you would choose to work. When you go into your next job interview, don't just ask about the stock options and how many ping pong tables they have. Ask how much does the company give back to the community? How many women and people of color are in its C-suite and leadership positions? And whether it pays contractors a living wage. You should join companies that share your values. And if your company does not live up to those values, you need to put pressure on those tech leaders to ensure that they do. So today, I call on everyone to participate. It's not only required in democracy, but it's also the #1 principle in the open source movement. It's the belief that those that contribute to a project are able to control its outcome, no matter what their location, their race, their gender, their sexuality, or economic status. And it's the belief that the best ideas will always rise to the top. Well, right now, our country needs a few good ideas. And I can't think of a better group of people more equipped to make them happen than you. And I'm asking you to participate by stepping outside of your comfort zone and invest your time, money, and skills into the causes that you believe in. Don't just wait for change, create it. In fact, when you go into work tomorrow, I'm asking you to start a Tech Stands Up chapter in your own company and community to work on some of the issues we've talked about here today. In 1 month, we're going to be having our first chapter meeting. If you want to stay involved and start a chapter, please take out our phone and go to www.techstandsup/pi, that's /PI, to join the movement or start a chapter. So like I said, I would like to thank all the volunteers that have worked day and night to make this day happen. I would also like to thank all the amazing speakers that we had here today. And we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and stand with us. Without you guys, it would have just been another Facebook rant and a Facebook invite that I sent out to a few people. So for you, I thank you. I also like to thank the City of Palo Alto for welcoming us to their doorstep. And if you have not done so already, please go check out the social organization tables. These are some amazing groups fighting every day to progress our nation forward. Please sign up, donate your skills and time. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank my wife and co-founder Amber Allred. Not only is Amber, thank you, yes, please give her a round of applause. Not only is Amber a full-time employee and a full-time grad student, but also has been the driving force behind this entire event. Without her, this day would not have been possible. Amber is always one to put others ahead of herself, from helping little animals in Thailand to hiking 20 miles to deliver food to those in need in Vietnam, to helping the homeless on her birthday. She always pushes me to be a better person, and I thank you for that. We have been forced to confront some uncomfortable truths head on. That while technological advancement has improved lives, it has also disrupted livelihoods. That bubbles don't just form in the stock market, but from within societies. And that everyone suffers when they pop. That changing the world requires more than just building apps and algorithms, but rather leveraging those technologies for good. And finally, that economic and social progress is not only the responsibility of those in Washington, but of everyone, especially with those with the ability to affect them. And if there's one thing that Silicon Valley has proven, is that small groups of determined people can change the world. So let today, March 14th, 2017, be remembered as the day that tech stood up. Thank you very much.